Hey everybody, welcome to the Ronline Report. If you don't know this guy, or you're even in the industry, he's the president of Tiger Fitness. You see him in all kinds of videos. He invented the outright bar. He's an IFBB professional bodybuilder. Please welcome Marc Lobliner. What's up, Marc?
Oh man, it's an honor to be here. I'm actually on the road. I had a speaking engagement. I had a keynote speaking thing at a food conference. And so while I was here, I took my boys with me. They're on spring break. My daughter's looking at universities with my wife. And I'm like, so let's go head over. We had the auto show today. Tomorrow we're going to NFL Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. We're in beautiful. Who doesn't want to be in Canton, Ohio for their spring break?
Yeah, that's where I always wanted to go, but I could never quite make it there. But
I made it. I made it, damn it.
well, the people in Canton will be happy to hear that high praise.
God,
Yeah.
God bless Canton, Ohio.
I'm doing this because I know last year you were going to make your pro debut. You're going to do the Chicago Pro because are you originally from the Chicago area?
Yeah, I lived in Chicago and I thought it'd be cool to actually compete there. I was actually born in the great city of Chicago when it was great. And now, then I moved to Tennessee and there's no Tennessee Pro, except when they had the New York Pro in Tennessee. So I figured, hey, close enough. We'll just pretend it was 2020 again. And we didn't shut down and New York did. So it's, but I was totally ready for both the Chicago and the Tampa. And I got skin cancer and they cut out a part of my chest, which sucked. I mean, but hold on. Some boobage.
I gotta see. Oh,
it's
wow.
It's right
Yeah,
here.
that's not bad.
It's this right here. No, it did. So what it did is a great. So I'm old. I'm 42. So at 40, you're in your 30s, right, Ron? And
50,
so what happened?
53. Go ahead.
Yeah. So what had happened was, so my skin isn't as elastic as it once was. So what happened is she actually took out like this much, like about this much skin. So my chest is actually tighter now because she literally gave me a boob lift. And I was really excited because, and I told my actually the woman who did the operation, my dermatologist, she's my neighbor. And it was like, I was like, dude, this is the best surgery ever. Like you gave me a boob job. Yeah. My tits look amazing now. Like I'm really excited about it. So I'm very happy with how it came out. And I'm kind of glad I went through the whole, now I didn't have like, melanoma. I had the really weak cancer, but I guess I could still say I had cancer. So, but it gave me more of a perspective because when you have just the feeling of knowing like the word cancer associated with your name, you're like, oh man, that's morbid. So it gave me a chance to really identify where I'm at in life. And really, I hate to say this, but I'm kind of happy it happened because it gave me a better perspective. It was a learning experience.
I mean, the statistics say that 1 in 3 Americans will get cancer at some point in their lifetime. So, everyone
Yes.
watching this, your odds
Wow.
aren't, 1 in 3. So, well, there's one.
That's Hall of Fame numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's that.
So New York Pro is coming up in May. I'm glad you're doing that because obviously MD always covers New York Pro. Love that show. Steve Weinberger does a great job. The crowd goes crazy. Always a nice lineup. What made you decide on that particular show? Because you could have gone to Tampa. You could have gone to any show you wanted.
Honestly, it's New York Pro, man. It's Weinberger's show, and it's honestly, Jose's up there. Jose Raymond's my coach, and Nate's doing it. Nate's a good friend of Jose's friend, my friend. And he's a phenomenal bodybuilder. I'd love to even if I don't win, I'd love to just stand next to him. And my buddy Kareth is doing it. He looks phenomenal right now. He looks great. Like I've become, friends with him. And a lot of the guys, like people don't realize, like you have all the drama and the drama channels. And I know that you've gotten in battles with them. I've watched that back and forth. The gossip channels, they serve their purpose and they're awesome. I love them. But, you would think that we're all like fighting. But if you've ever been to an event like we have at Carbon Culture, Carbon Performance now, like we're a family. Like the community is so small. It's such a tight-knit community that, we're actually like, obviously it's very competitive, but everybody's kind of like impressed with everybody else. Like we talk our shit and you look at somebody, you want to beat them. But I think every bodybuilder from the top, one of the top two, even if you talk like Brandon Curry offline about Rami, there's a tremendous amount of respect. And I think just having a pro card and even if you're a top pro, if you're Mr. Olympia, or if you're competing for the bottom two at a just standard pro show. There's that level of respect and camaraderie that you have that I don't think the fans get to see enough of in bodybuilding. And I wish they could. And you see glimpses of it when you go to gym events at Carbon Performance or at other awesome gyms across the country, or you go to like an Iron Addicts gym in LA, Iron Addicts event, but you don't see it enough. And you think that we're all just, it's all just the gossip shows, and it really isn't. It's such a beautiful place. But honestly, it was a good date. You know, I stay pretty lean year round. I don't do any voodoo. Yeah,
Dude, you were in contest condition all the time, Mark. Literally contest condition.
I mean, for me, it's just a matter of I'm really active. I'm very mobile. I can't really eat that much crap because it really doesn't do well with my stomach. So I honestly could be a much better bodybuilder. I joked around about this about Mark Bell's podcast. If I ate more, like, you know, and if I had time, and this is another reason why, you know, you have to put things in perspective. Like I get about 45 minutes a day to train. And then I have jobs, you know, but these bodybuilders, they're literal professionals. They hone in on their craft. And to be able to, you know, pretty much be a weekend warrior and be able to stand next to these guys and not look like I'm out of place, but that's where I've won, you know, and for me, it's a personal battle. So it's like when people go online, you don't belong standing next to those pros. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right, but I'm going to do my best to present myself in the best way possible. I'm training my ass off, and I mean, it's just lit a fire. It's really been a blessing. And I've been training with my kids, my son, my daughter, and that's just something we do together. And it's just really fun. It's a really good time.
I give you a lot of props because I know a ton of people who turn pro, especially as masters like you did, they never compete again. That's the last they've ever seen on a stage. I know like just 5 people at my gym who have pro cards. Pro cards, they've never done a pro show. Some of them, they had these cards for years. And I'm like, mother effer, I would do a show. And I'd get shredded.
Yeah.
I'd get destroyed, but I'd get up there and I'd be in great shape.
Yes. Yeah. It's again, like you even look at like someone who started early, like Brandon Curry. He was last place when he made his move, but that's part of the game. But he was on stage at a big show. And for me, the New York Pro is my Olympia because I'm not an Olympia caliber competitor. Maybe I'll surprise myself. I don't know, but I'll be more surprised than anybody else. Like when I got my pro card, like I guess someone's like, oh, you played that up. No, I was literally shocked. Like Jose was the only one, God bless him, who was like, you got this, you're going to win it tonight. This is your night. I'm like, Jose, did you see the other guys? Like, they look amazing. Because I'm back there as a fan, you know, I'm back there as someone who just loves and appreciates and respects the iron game. And, you know, whether you're a mass monster or a symmetry guy, go ahead, or a symmetry guy, it's, you know, I respect what you do. I respect everything. There's my Preston. He's so excited about the Hall of Fame tomorrow. He's a football player. He's just been jacked up all week.
You have four children, right?
3. There could be a 4th one.
Well, you still have time. I'll say they're all phenomenal athletes, and you coached them all, you trained them all. Man, I mean, just the aren't they all like state wrestling champion? Was a national? What are some of these accolades the kids have?
And so Thomas was 3rd JV state in Tennessee. Preston won. He won state as a 10-year-old for his weight class in wrestling, and he's a really good football player. I mean, you can't really win anything at that level. His team came in 2nd. And my daughter's a state champion soccer player. She's done after high school. She's just had enough. I mean, and I'm good with it. Like she's gonna focus on her business. She's starting a new business next week.
Wow.
You know, got that going, and you know, she's just working on, you know, her next step. And soccer for female athletes just isn't there. You're living with a host family and making 20 grand a year. So no matter how good she is and whether she's at that level, we don't know. You know, you have to go through the, you have to, there's levels. But, you know, with my kids, I had one rule in my house, and that was you have to play a team sport and you have to play combat sport because they all teach you different life lessons that I can't teach. I can't teach you. You know, they started in boxing, and there's something about standing across from somebody who's trying to punch you in the face that really teaches you life lessons and the teamwork and the camaraderie and the sportsmanship you learn from team sports. So I just had that rule, and they started with boxing and soccer. And now, you know, my daughter she'll go boxing. She does boxing now. She did wrestling last year and played soccer, and she's 17. I'm done. Like I've done my job. if she's not a good person by now,
Yeah.
we messed up. And my son's Thomas focused on wrestling, and Preston went to wrestling and football. So it's just, you got to, at the end of the day, like people, I always got accused of like pushing my kids. Like I'm tired. Like my kids force me to train. They force me to coach them. Like, hey, Dad, can you come downstairs and can you go to the gym and do this? And there's so many mornings that I'm waking up, taking them to the gym, not even training myself. Because I'm just there to support them. And they don't know any better. All they know is when I got up in the morning, I trained. Like for them, that's their normal. That's watching TV for them, is they know that, either in the morning or in the evening, they got to get a workout in, because our family just did it that way. They don't know any better.
What a great habit to instill today, especially because these kids now, they're like indoor cats. They never leave the house. All they do is game. They're on the gaming. Well, I guess it's most of them are on the computer gaming. With they're very inactive compared to I'll say our generation, even though I'm 11 years older than you. But we went outside, we climbed trees, we rode bikes.
Oh,
Our
it
parents
was it
didn't
was the
always know where we
pre-internet.
were all the time.
Yeah,
Different.
it was the pre-cell phone generation, man. I mean,
Seriously.
when you were bored, you went and you played stickball. You found something like to throw around, or you just, I can't say the word, smear the cue. Like you did that, like you would just tackle each other. And it was a different time when you just found ways to be active because you were bored. And like during the day, if you're home during summer break, like you're not watching soap operas or talk shows. So like all you could do was play and be active. And that's why a lot of us did get into sports or athletics. And now kids, we have obesity is at an all-time high. Kids are getting diabetes left and right. And that's why I got into coaching kids, because it's and I live in a community, admittedly, that isn't like in aching need for financial assistance. Like I live in Brentwood, Tennessee. Like, but at the end of the day, these kids, they need guidance. They need sports. Sports solves everything.
Mm.
You get a kid into sports, saved my life.
Oh,
So by getting these kids and teaching them and coaching them, and that's where you fix society. You start helping kids. You start coaching kids. You coach them from the ground up. And my kids were just, if I was coaching kids, other people's kids, and I'm sitting here and my kids don't even like training, then I'm not a good coach. Because I mean, it should be fun, and we make it fun. We have a good time. We've been gone since Tuesday, and we've gone to the gym every day, together as a family.
yeah. The thing that really amazes me that you're going to compete is just I don't even know exactly how busy you are. I have an idea based on things you post, but you're running multiple businesses, you're coaching your kids. You wrote recently about something. You got that Whoop thing that keeps track of your sleep. You were
Oh,
averaging
it's
like
great. The whoop strap.
3 hours of sleep a night, right?
It was a bad run in sleep. Yeah, I had so much because Ambrosia, which is the company owned Mike Rashid, Sean Torbati, like we sold majority of it in June, and we have great partners. But we've been growing phenomenally. We have a lot of partnerships, a lot of things going on. So I'm traveling to California a lot, and our headquarters is now Utah. So I'm going to Utah, and then I have Tiger Fitness up here. I was just there Tuesday with the kids in Cincinnati. We got our warehouse in Vegas. So I've been traveling more than I like, and lucky for me, like for right now, prepping is like Jose literally is like just eat as much as you can, because I'm not gonna lie, like at about 8 weeks next week, I'll start really honing in on everything. But I literally just from traveling, I dropped down to 205. My stage weight's 211. So just from traveling, and because you just can't get the meals in, and you try to eyeball it. For me, I usually eyeball less than what I need. So like I need a food scale, so I eat enough. And it's first world problems. I know there's a lot of people who are dealing with more problems than eating not enough chicken, but but like it's for me. I mean, for me, it's just a matter of locking in mentally and not letting it get to me. And the fact of the matter is, I have an awesome life. I have good people around me, and I'm surrounded by, I have stressors. It's stressful when you're dealing with multiple companies with so much influx and outflux of cash. And it's stressful because you make a wrong move, you can cost your company $1 million. And that's a lot. Or you can, and it's all about, managing personnel, managing expectations. And now that we have partners, I have to, once a week go in front of them and prove and show them that we're not doing things wrong. So it's really it's awesome though, because I'll never be able to retire. I need a will to live. I was reading something the other day about statistics, and when people retire at 55 versus 65, they die. You literally die. Like it's like the morbidity rate goes up by like 33% or some crazy number like that. I'm like, I don't want to die. This is actually good stress, you know, and like all bodybuilders should do, all people should do. You know, go to the doctor, get your blood work done every 6 to 12 months. Where is some kind of a thing to blood pressure, right? Monitor your blood pressure, all that good stuff. Now, I don't, and I'm not going to harp on this. This is a stupid thing. I don't do things that cause a lot of the issues that a lot of bodybuilders have. But whether you don't or you do, you only have one heart. Take care of it, eat the right foods, do your cardio, and again, get your sleep. The American Heart Association has recently put lack of sleep for the first time ever as something that increases your risk for a deadly heart attack.
Yeah, I believe that for sure.
Sleep, guys, sleep. And if you have a choice between sleep and walking on the treadmill at 2.2 speed and 12 incline, sleep. Get your 6 to 8 hours of sleep, guys. Please.
So, okay, I was going to ask you because because I'm obsessed with sleep. If I don't get like at least 7 hours, I'm worthless. But you obviously learn how to function. I'm just curious because I have talked to people who can function on less. What amount of sleep do you need to function optimally a day? Is it 8 hours for you? Is it 6? Is it 5?
Optimally 8 to 8.5 hours. Optimal. And I got this whoop strap, man. And I don't get paid. I don't have a code, but I would say for the record, 99% of you watching this right now do not need a whoop strap. It's too much. It's too expensive. It's $400 a year subscription. Too much. Get by with your Apple Watch. Just measure your or your Garmin watch, whatever. Now, for me, I monitor things, and it measures your recovery, measures your heart rate variability, measures your skin temperature, measures all this stuff. And on 3 hours of sleep, I actually posted this on my Instagram. I'm at about 20% recovery. When I got 8.5 hours of sleep, I'm at above 90%. What does that mean? Better performance in the gym. You breathe better. I'll also take notes. In an old school, I'm old, so my notes are written down Dorian style. So I'll notice that if I don't get enough sleep, I get winded really fast. I have no cardio, and I'm a guy who could go for 12 rounds of sparring. You know, I have cardio, but when I don't get enough sleep, I literally have the cardio of a 350-pound obese man who smokes. It's just terrible. So everything, your recovery, and that's why when some people are like, you're bragging about not sleeping, I'm like, no, I'm embarrassed about not sleeping. It's just when you have a meeting end at 9 p.m. and then you fly out the next day at 5 a.m., you're not getting enough sleep. And then you land and you have another meeting. Good luck getting good sleep my size on a plane, right? Like you're done. So sometimes life happens and you just have to do the best. And then you can go home and make sure you have a weekend day, get some sleep, take a nap, do what you need to do. But I am a fan of sleeping in to make up for, there's been controversy about this, but I do think like it's a gas tank. Like you can't top it off sleep, but you can fill the tank more. So I am a huge fan of sleeping in if your weeks are crappy like mine. And it was that weekend that I had to travel that screwed me up. And it took 2 weeks to regulate. It really did.
Wow. So you write a column every month in MD. Is it Tiger Talks or
Yes.
Tiger Talks, right?
Tiger Talks, I believe.
Tiger Talks. You talk about health. You talk about bodybuilding. You're very transparent. You say up front, pro bodybuilding is not the healthiest thing you can do.
No.
So
no.
As someone like yourself who does, you value your health. You've got kids. You want to live a long, healthy life. How do you mitigate that? How do you reconcile? I'm going to compete in a pro bodybuilding contest, and I'm still going to be as healthy as I can possibly be.
So let's see how we want to address this. I don't want to come off as one of those guys who is like, don't take risks. I know my place in the bodybuilding hierarchy. And I'm also 42. So if I took every steroid in the world, I'd gain 2 pounds. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna pull like one of those off-season Regan Grimes transformations. It's not gonna happen. And you have to know that, right? You have to be aware of where you're at. And also, like for me, this isn't paying my bills. In fact, it costs me money.
Absolutely.
So why would I take a risk with no return on investment. So I look at bodybuilding like a business, except I look at it like this. For example, our gym in Ohio, the Tiger Fitness Gym, is free to the public. It's free to the public. We don't charge membership fees. You can just walk in and train. Yeah. But here's the thing. I know I'm going to lose money on that, but I enjoy having a free gym. And in my opinion, it's us giving back to the people who give to us, the community, the fitness community. That's what bodybuilding is to me. I just love the sport so much. And I feel that if I'm bestowed this blessing to be able to compete, that, you know what, I might as well give it a shot while I'm still here. So my risk level is low. However, when you get to the higher levels and you get to the 260-pound guys who are my height, 270, you know, you're going to push the envelope. And that's where you need a good coach or a good medical advisor. You have to monitor your blood work. That's when you don't do every 6 months. That's when you literally do every 8 weeks or even more. And you get it monitored, and you take your supplements that help that. Nattokinase is one of them that is great for blood clotting and all the heart issues. You know, I make a product called Ambrosia Nectar. That's not going to mitigate it, but you really need to pay attention to it. And if you see your blood work get to the level where you're literally in some kind of a liver failure situation, which you can tell via blood work, because remember, you have to do multiple blood work because it's that snapshot in time. So you need to monitor it, and then you need to scale back or just come off. And I've known many bodybuilders, I'm not saying names, who've dropped shows because their stuff has gotten out of hand. I know that there's one famous coach who's very responsible. And honestly, I believe, I'll say it, I think one of the most responsible guys out there is Hani. I've heard of multiple times Hani telling guys, take some time. Yep. And again, Hani didn't tell me this himself, but why would someone else lie about him being safe? You know what I mean? Like, I've known guys who've coached with him. He's like, after shows, he's like, all right, bro, take your time. Like, you got time. We need you around, right? So, but there are also coaches that, you know, were exposed in mainstream media who do push the envelope. And I think it's just having self-awareness. But it's hard. It's hard when you're striving for a goal. And I just actually did a video about this. Like, I respect people who will literally sacrifice their life to reach their goals. I was sent to the emergency room twice with exhaustion from working in business. Does that make me irresponsible? Does that make me, but the business world, like, you're goal driven, grind, bro. But if a bodybuilder does it, all of a sudden he's a drug addict. He's a bad person. Okay, here's one. This is a question for you, Ron. Would you trade places with Ronnie Coleman to be the greatest of all time, but you can't walk? I would.
You would. I mean,
absolutely.
I like my mobility. Yeah, maybe I answered too quickly, but yeah, he's the greatest.
Think about the legacy.
He has no regrets. He has no regrets. Absolutely.
And I don't think he should. He should be proud of what he did. I mean, he literally gave his body to be the greatest of all time. And this, the Hall of Fame, the Football Hall of Fame. Every football player knows that running headfirst into another guy of equal size is not good for you. Every single football player out there has some head trauma, some brain damage. Something's wrong with their head. They're going to get CTE, yet they do it. Why? For greatness, for a legacy. But you don't talk about that, right? We're busy talking about, you know, the premature bodybuilding death. But in reality, how many football players, look at Muhammad Ali at the end of his life. Like, that's the cost of greatness. That's what it takes to be the greatest. Nobody ever became the greatest and literally walked away. They limped away. So there's something to be said about that. Now, for you bodybuilders in the NPC who are trying to get your pro card, if you can't get your pro card on a sane cycle, you're not going to be a good pro. You're just not. Like, you look at the best, you probably know who I'm talking. You look at the best pros, they literally turn pro on a CC a week.
Well, I mean, much less than people would believe in most cases.
Yeah, I was hyperbole. But some of these guys who come in second or third at regional shows, they just keep dosing and dosing and dosing. It's like, you would have known by now if you had it or not. So you have to have, like, self-awareness. Like, I know I'm not going to stand next to Sean Clarita and win. It's self-awareness. I can take all the drugs in the world. You can put me in the Captain America hyperbaric chamber. I'm not beating Sean. I know that. Everybody with eyes knows that. There could be some people like, well, you have a better waist. Well, yeah, my waist is great, but what about everything else?
He's good. No, maybe I would trade with Ronnie. You're right. I take it all back. But you bring. I wanted to bring up since we're talking about high doses and all that, and Liver King. Just because I love
Oh,
the. I've been so entertained by your videos and Instagram posts about Liver King because it was bad enough when he finally admitted everything. Right? He says, "Okay, I was lying. I was on drugs the whole time." Blah blah blah. But and he sort of backpedaled on that, and then he supposedly just went on TRT and he posted pictures 55th day on TRT, and he's bigger and harder and rounder. He's clearly on more shit than he ever was before. He doubled down on his lies. I'm like, mother effer, how dare you? And I
I
can't
love it.
believe this guy. I thought he would just crawl away in a cave and hide because I've been disgraced. But man, what a pair of balls on this guy, Brian. What's his real name? Brian Smith.
Well,
Brian Jones.
I don't know, but definitely he doesn't have big balls with all the doses he's
Ah,
taken.
no, he
But
doesn't.
but here's the thing: the Liver King's a sociopath. I mean, he just is. But I look at him as I think he's actually. I've changed my tune. I think he's a net good, meaning that I think that he did promote a healthy lifestyle and he helped people lose weight and get in better shape. Sure, they were eating weird food while doing it, but I'm not going to hate on anybody telling people to eat whole food. But how he did it for personal, and I would have been okay if he just lied because let's say he started like, "Hey man, are you natty?" Um, yeah, because drugs are illegal, like steroids are illegal. So I understand how you don't want to implicate yourself in a crime. I understand that. However, when the email came out that he's like, "Here's my plan. I'm going to trick everybody and I'm going to build this brand and I don't care how much it costs." I'm like, okay, that's premeditated. Like you are literally a sociopath. And then people were still taking up for him. Like they're like, "Oh man, he's this." And now people are like, "Oh, he's natural." And I'm like, okay. Now it is possible that he is natural right now because steroid gains don't just go away. You know what I mean? Like if you look at Jay now on his, normal, like he's pretty much normal. I mean, his test, we could probably put his testosterone on TRT. He's probably at 1,000. Like Jay, if you know Jay, Jay's not dumb. He's not going to risk his life to look good on a podcast. But but Jay, Jay is he still looks amazing, right? Um, I do think it's possible that Liver King is on TRT now. As someone who's been, in 2013, I was on a heavy cycle when I got my little NABA Pro card when that mattered before they kind of went under, and so and I held on for like years. Like I didn't look as grainy or juicy. I don't look as grainy now as I did back then, but like at the end of the day, it's possible he's natty. It's or not natty, but he's on TRT. But knowing that, how would you know? Like the guy has never told a truthful statement in his life. He's not eating balls. Like nobody believes that. Like I'll choke down, dude, for the right amount of views, I'll choke down some raw organs. I'll eat a dick on camera. But at the end of the day, it's like it's I the Liver King is just a symptom of social media. It's a symptom of what's going on and the hunt for attention and the ability of people to make a lot of money in a little bit of time with very little talent. And then people are like, he was a millionaire before this. I'm like, I didn't see his books. I don't know. He could have been, but like, even if you're a millionaire, there's more money to be made.
Whatever he was making before, I don't think it was anything compared to what he eventually accrued in wealth. But yeah, well, I'm glad you entertained my
Yeah.
little Liver King sidebar there.
You always need something Liver King. It's just what you do. It's just what you need to do this day and age. You need to mention Liver King at least once a day, or else it's not a. I didn't hear his name for weeks until he started posting his natty pics, and then it's like, and then of course Generation Iron. I don't know your opinion on them. I used to love Generation Iron when they first started. They were amazing. Like I even had a series on there called Two Scoops, and I had another one called Lobliner Rants, and then they turned into like TMZ. And I'm like, oh, they were so, when they started, Vlad was doing some amazing things. And I think that they realized that the advertising money came from clicks. And now they're just posting random weird stuff. And it's like, but I really loved it when it started. And I think they could still, their movies are great. But yeah,
That's what I will say. The films they produced, especially the first one, Generation Iron, fantastic cinematography, editing, you know, modern day Pumping Iron. Without obviously we didn't have the great personnel, but yeah,
so good.
Vlad and his crew, they feature films, they are amazing. Those documentaries, the Ronnie Coleman one I thought was really good. Yeah, but they've gotten
Fantastic.
very, very clickbaity, very TMZ like recently. So it is what it is.
They're good people too. I don't know if you've ever been to their office in New York,
No.
but they're such good people. I love good people. Like there could be somebody who does something I don't like. Like I'll get things all the time. Like, oh, I can't believe you like this guy. I'm like, well, I mean, my interaction with is, well, he said this. Like, dude, Dorian got me once. Dorian Yates. We toured Australia together in 2010, and then funny story. So like 2 weeks after I get home, Dorian literally was like, the Holocaust didn't happen. Like he posted that on Facebook. And Dorian's the kind of guy who questions everything,
Yeah.
right? Like if you know Dorian, you know, and so I'm a Jew. And everybody, like all of a sudden I wake up and it was Messenger at the time, it was Facebook heavy. Remember, this was before Instagram. And everybody's like, how dare you hang out with this pro-Nazi? I'm like, I don't even know what happened. So then I looked and it was Dorian, like it didn't even really say it, just like it was like a picture of like the Holocaust, like question everything. And then of course even Lane Norton went off, and I'm like, oh, and then people are like, what do you feel? What are you talking about? What do you feel? Lane, talk about your friend. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, just get me out of this. But no, but Dorian, even if Dorian said like the Holocaust didn't exist, I'd be like, it's your opinion, bro. Let's go get some burgers. You know, it's just me. I judge everybody on interaction, and it's something that we lose this day and age because everybody's a part of this tribe or that tribe. Where I'm from, we used to be able to hang out even if we had different opinions on things.
Social media has really polarized people. Like on Facebook, if you don't agree with my politics or my opinion on climate change or whatever, you're an asshole. How dare you not agree with my opinion? My opinion is the right opinion.
Misinformation. You're a Putin.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey guys, I'm like, hey, shouldn't we audit the money that's going to Ukraine? You like Putin? I'm like, no. I just want to know where the money's going. I don't give a shit about Putin. I'm not even over there. I just want to know where my tax dollars are going.
Yeah.
No, you're pro-Russia. You're I got called a communist.
You know, I think
what is wrong with people?
I think I've told you this before, Mark, but before I actually met you, I only knew you from the videos, right? And I thought this guy is ridiculous because you know so much energy. I thought you were coked out of your mind. I thought it was like a WWE act because you start with boom and then you wiggle the pecs and I'm like and you'd be screaming. And then I finally meet you and I'm like, oh my God, this guy's actually really cool. I could have known you for a couple of years at that point. We'd been at events and I avoided you because I'm like, oh, that's that douchebag from the freaking videos where he's screaming all the time.
Jose said the same thing.
Really?
He said the same exact thing. He's like, this guy can't be for fucking real.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody needs to do a Jose impersonation. That's like the new Joe Weider. Like when I worked at Weider, everybody could do, oh, what the fuck is this kid? Everybody could do a Joe Weider, but everybody needs to do a Jose Raymond.
It's too easy for me because I've grown up here. It's way too easy for me. You just do a Boston accent. But man, yeah. So I will let you get back to your family, man. I appreciate you taking the time. You're so busy. The fact that you get
bro, they're literally wrestling. They're wrestling. I'm like, oh, I hear in the background. I'm like, what's going on? I mean, hey, he hasn't been a crossface, I think, right there.
Oh my God. Are they doing like WWE wrestling? Jumping off the top ropes?
This is I don't know where they get it. It's obviously from their mom. It's like a constant battle in my house. Like you never know when a wrestling match is gonna break out. It's always, and now my 14-year-old, I outweigh him by 100 pounds. The other day he kicked my ass.
Well,
I'm like,
was he in jiu-jitsu or something too?
He's a really good wrestler. Like he knows how to hurt people. And he got me and he like grabbed my arm and like I'm like, ouch, my back, you know? I'm like, don't beat up the old guy. This is not fair. That's not awesome, right.
Man. Wow.
Well, man, I appreciate it. Sorry it took so long to get a hold of you. I was driving.
No worries, man. I mean, That's what people don't understand. They look at if people knew your schedule, they'd be a lot more impressed with the physique. And I saw you pressing 150s the other day in the gym. This, you're still squatting and deadlifting all kinds of crazy weights. Enjoy your youth. You say you're old. You're not old.
I should not have done, dude, that 703, that hex bar deadlift. I shouldn't have done it. I was screwed up for like 2 weeks. I was like, my nervous system just didn't want to wake up, man.
Oh, dude, I'd be in a wheelchair if I tried that. So good on you.
I think I should be.
Well, man. So, Mark, thank you so much, man. Tiger Fitness. Check out his channel, Tiger Fitness. He does yell, but it's so entertaining. You're one of the guys. I won't listen to a lot of these podcasts and videos because I have no patience, but I like listening to you. I find you entertaining.
Well, I appreciate it.
Intelligent, entertaining. It's fun stuff. So check them out, Tiger Fitness, guys. And the outright bar, if you ever have a chance to try those, my goodness gracious, delicious and nutritious. So that's it. Thank you so much, Mark. Thanks, everybody. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, leave some comments below. We like your feedback. What else? The bell, the subscription, the notification bell, hit all that good stuff. And that's it. Thank you for watching Ronline Report with Marc Lobliner. We'll see you next time. Hey, did you like that video? Smash that like button, subscribe to MD, and please comment down below. Thanks for watching.